A C-class tower. The risk is immense, but the potential reward could change their lives forever. After an hour of hesitation, the old man decides, it's time. He raises the golden key, and the portal shimmers to life. The way is open. Now! Everyone inside! A mad dash for glory and gold begins. He'd bet their entire savings on this key. They must make a profit. A flash of light, and he's suddenly somewhere else, alone. He scans the empty stone chamber. Had the others made it? Relief washes over him as Tian appears from the shadows. The others? Tian shakes his head. It seems we've been separated. But as they plan their next move, something stirs in the darkness behind them. Key held tight like a club, the old man peers into the unknown. A scream echoes down the hall as a monster closes in on its prey. He's thrown back by the force of the attack, his own voice lost in a cry for help. In a flash, a figure yanks the woman from the creature's jaws. Freed from its grasp, she retaliates with a vicious kick to its face, a silver arc, and the monster's head flies past, silencing the chaos. The decapitated head thuds to the ground, next to a gleaming sword. The rescued woman, an ethereal ghost-like being, offers her heartfelt thanks. Tian retrieves his sword. Don't thank me. To him, the terrifying beast was nothing more than a lowly painted ghost. The old man finds a C-rank dagger in the remains and offers it to their savior. Keep it. Tian dismisses the valuable loot without a second glance, but other hunters watch from the shadows, their whispers turning to accusations. Emboldened by their numbers, they surround Tian, demanding his equipment. He remains calm. Without me, none of you are leaving this tower alive. The threat does not land. A knife is drawn. Their shouts and threats mean nothing to him. The old man rushes forward, trying to de-escalate. Stop this, all of you! The hunters turn on him. Old man, you know this guy? The old man brandishes his sword, trying to make the others see reason. I'm trying to help you. His companion scoffs. The idea is preposterous. Their argument is cut short by a deafening roar. A beast tide. The adventurers break and run while the old man tries desperately to rally them. A green-skinned horde charges forward, a wave of teeth and claws. Tian doesn't flinch, calmly exhaling a plume of smoke. He stands alone against the tide, a look of utter contempt on his face. With a flick of his wrist, he unleashes a flurry of paper talismans, a single drop of blood, and the paper contorts, birthing an army of bone. His skeleton warriors charge into the fray without a sound. Attack. The army obeys, overwhelming the monster horde. Bone shatters flesh in a chaotic, one-sided slaughter. The old man can only stare, dumbfounded by the impossible power on display. In moments, the battle is over, the ground littered with corpses and valuable loot. The hunters gaze upon the monster cores, finally realizing their mistake. He is a talisman master. Tian announces his terms. I'll take the crystal core, the rest is yours. He effortlessly gathers the cores, drawing them to his hand with unseen force. The prize, a small, glowing purple crystal. Elsewhere, a man brings a similar crystal to a gagged woman's lips. Open wide, he forces the crystal into her mouth as onlookers identify her as a ghoul. In another chamber, a chained zombie is inspected. She was raised well. Suddenly, a blast of white energy throws the entire crowd back. The man smirks. Fools, you've awakened the tower's boss. They beg him to save them, but he turns his back. He only came for the core. He leads the ghoul up a winding path. Come, let's have a look. From a web-covered throne, a colossal spider-like queen awakens. Her ghostly attendants swarm as she fixes her gaze on the intruders. She gathers a ball of crackling green energy, preparing to strike. But her opponent is ready, his hands forming a key of pure golden light. He twists a talismanic doll, and the Spider Queen screams in agony. Break! A golden sun erupts from his hands, engulfing the chamber. The queen is torn apart, her reign ending in a violent flash of light. They watch as the last of her malevolent energy fades into nothing. The crowd erupts in cheers. The boss is dead. The tower's seal is lifted. But the celebration dies. The tower's oppressive aura remains, and fear creeps back in. He turns to the confused survivors, a knowing smile on his face. He touches a seemingly solid wall. This place holds a secret, a tower within a tower. With a single touch, the illusion shatters, revealing a brilliant light beyond. Shock turns to anger. Who are you? He steps into the light. I'm the one who let the monsters out. And with that confession, the world fractures into a million pieces of light. He warns her not to follow. The path ahead is his alone. A tower within a tower. A rare and deadly opportunity for those brave enough to take it. The old man's eyes gleam. With a master on their side, the prophets would be legendary. Greed wins. They charge headfirst into the unknown. The climb is treacherous, the first of many tests within these walls. His companion offers to clear the way, but he prefers to walk his own path. He lights a cigarette, watching them. Men die for money. Birds die for food. It's a lesson humanity never seems to learn. It began 15 years ago, when the demon-suppressing towers descended and brought chaos to the world. They appeared without warning, alien structures in a familiar world. One loomed over his mountain village, a forbidden monument of unknown power. The bullies' dare was simple: touch the tower. They promised to leave her alone if he, Su Zhe, was brave enough to do it. To protect her, he would face the unknown. He walked on, ignoring her worried pleas and the bullies' jeers. His small hand met the glowing red surface. To his shock, the tower's door began to open on its own. A monstrous, grinning face materialized from the stone. And with a shriek, a torrent of damned souls erupted from within. He was trapped, a child at the center of a vortex of ghosts. The bullies scattered, screaming that the seal was broken. She could only scream his name. As monsters poured into the village, his mother fought against the crowd to run back for him. She reached for a son already lost, her cries swallowed by the chaos. A colossal beast rose above the carnage, and the sky filled with winged horrors. Thud! A small bag of candy, a forgotten gift, spilled onto the ground. The memory burns. He turns away, leaving them to their fate. The other adventurers find themselves in a land of mirrors, vast and empty. But he is with them again, his voice a sharp warning. Stay alert, you wanted this risk. The fog thickens around the mirrored shards. Stay together. Don't get lost. A voice cries out, I can't go on. One of the hunters collapses, exhausted by the endless, empty path. He reaches a trembling hand, begging for a single drop of water. But as a canteen is offered, another man simply vanishes into thin air. The old man looks around in confusion as his companions begin to fade like smoke. He turns, and they're gone. Even the ghost girl, Yuan, dissipates before his eyes. Their echoes remain, trapped in the mirrored space, laughing without reason. He confronts a silhouette in the glass. A voice commends his perception. A blue-skinned demon emerges. Are you lucky to have found me, or unlucky? With the last two survivors cowering behind him, he demands an answer. What did you do with them? She smiles, showing him visions of his friends being consumed. I ate them, of course. The old man's hope shatters. All of them, gone. The demon raises her hand, trapping them in prisons of light and memory. In his mirror, the old man sees a face he never thought he'd see again. His daughter. She weeps tears of blood. Father, do you remember me? He breaks down, choking on apologies. I had no choice. In his own prison, a familiar voice calls out. Su Zhe, he's home. His mother, his neighbors, all welcoming him back. He apologizes, and she embraces him. It's all right, we'll be together forever now. But the warm welcome rots into a nightmare of decaying flesh and hungry eyes. The illusion shatters into flashes of his deepest fears. The demon watches, holding an artifact, purpose, the root of all evil. But he will not break. He glares back, his own power glowing in his hand. A figure leaps into the fray, surrounded by crackling energy. What about the ghoul? A ghoul? The demon's surprise is her first mistake. A storm of raw lightning erupts, tearing through the mirrored space. He smirks. Illusions don't work on the dead. With her phantoms defeated, he turns his attention to the true enemy. Trapped in a shard, she sneers. You're still in my tower, little man. As long as one mirror remains, you can never catch me. He gazes at her reflection. Then I have a question for you. She mocks him from 100 shards, her voice echoing with the screams of his fallen friends. The taunts hit their mark. He takes a long drag from his cigarette. The time for games is over. Fine, he exhales smoke. Then I'll just have to destroy them all. Her laughter rings through the mirrored halls. A foolish, impossible threat. He raises a golden talisman. I'll grind every last shard of you to dust. His hands form a sign, and the talisman blazes with divine power. A cyclone of pure energy erupts, a whirlwind of paper feathers tearing through the chamber. The storm gathers the mirror shards, pulling them into a chaotic vortex. Yuan, the lightning talisman, now! She leaps, channeling the heavens into her attack. The demon's laughter turns to panic as she finally understands his plan. As he roars his defiance, Yuan unleashes a torrent of purple lightning. The bolt strikes the heart of the mirror storm. A deafening explosion of light and force vaporizes the battlefield. The mirrors are gone, fused into a single crystal mass. Nowhere left to run, Yuan observes. He smirks. A high-level talisman deserves a high-level reward. Trapped within the crystal, she can only admit defeat. I underestimated you, a new voice echoes in the silence. This tower is mine. Elsewhere, a monster attacks a young man. Your body will be a fine gift for my lord. She forces her spiritual energy into him, attempting to possess his vessel. He screams as raw power erupts from his eyes. The world dissolves into a hellscape of pulsating flesh and watchful eyes. The monster finds herself inside the boy's soul, a prisoner in the very body she sought to claim. A giant, bloodshot eye stared back at her. In its pupil, a single terrifying character: disaster. A new voice, smooth as silk, echoes in the fleshy chamber. Well, hello there. A colossal, red-haired demoness materializes before her. I didn't expect to find a little rat scurrying around in here. The monster shrieks, launching a desperate, furious attack. The demoness catches the energy blades in her bare hand, utterly unimpressed. Fleshy tendrils erupt, ensnaring the smaller creature as it begs for its life. Her pleas are answered with the sound of tearing flesh and a final, choked scream. Splattered in fresh blood, the demoness licks her lips. Delicious! Her meal finished, she turns her crimson eyes to the true owner of this space. Su Zhe confronts the entity. You're from the tower inside me. She gives a predatory smile. You may call me Heihuo, the Black Disaster. Her smile widens. And by activating this tower, you've just given yourself 3 days to live. He stared at the demoness. 3 days? What are you talking about? I can't level up, I'm not even married, and now you tell me I'm gonna die? But she was just as frustrated. Her very survival was now tied to his meager spiritual power. Her appetite was immense. She would drain him dry. He demanded a way to get stronger now. She scoffed at the demand. Your scrawny body can't handle my power. You're a scammer! He threatened to give up, knowing it was a threat that would doom them both. She calmly explained the truth. Forcing her power into him now would only cause his body to explode. Reach a rank. Then we can talk. She offered a glimmer of hope. Perhaps we can even restore your ghoul. His anger vanished, replaced by disbelief. Yuan, you can really save her? Nothing is absolute, she purred. Get strong enough, and I will teach you how. She warned that great hope came with a great price. He didn't hesitate. I'll pay it. His resolve made her laugh. This human was becoming interesting. From swirling energy, she manifested a strange, cat-like talisman. A gift for waking me. It would help him level up. You could feel it in his hand. A fragment of her immense chaotic power. Use this only when you are in true danger. Her final words echoed as his consciousness faded. Don't you dare die on me. A voice cut through the darkness. Boss? Boss? Wake up! His eyes snapped open. He was back in the snow. His new companion said he'd been frozen solid, as if possessed. The old man offered him the crystal core from their last battle. He stared past it, his mind still reeling from the deal he'd just made. There's only 2 of us left, the old man pleaded. Join us, please. No. The refusal was blunt, cold. The old man backed away, apologizing. Of course, a master wouldn't join their ragged crew. You misunderstand, Su Zhe clarified, a new fire in his eyes. You're going to work for me. The old man's gratitude was overwhelming. Enough. My name is Su Zhe. He gave them their first assignment, register at the Demon Suppression Bureau. The younger survivor turned to the old man. Uncle Tian, what exactly is a ghoul? The old man sighed. It all started when the towers first appeared, and everyone rushed in, seeking fortune. At first, the towers seemed like a gift, bestowing wealth and power on the brave. But for every success story, there were countless who found only death in the darkness. The towers did not let the dead rest, twisting them into monsters. Those with spiritual power suffered the worst fate, their souls corrupted and remade into ghouls. They became grotesque parodies of their former selves, immortal puppets bound to the tower, their only purpose to kill. The younger man panics, but Uncle Tian explains that a powerful master can control a ghoul. But the cost is immense. They wonder what Yan Yuan must have been to Su Zhe for him to pay such a price. Su Zhe remains silent, lost in thought, the small ghoul waiting patiently by his side. He places a new charm on her forehead, a small gesture in a world of monsters. Their destination, the Demon Suppression Bureau headquarters. Inside, the scale of the operation is staggering. This is the heart of humanity's war against the towers. An emergency mission flashes across the main screen, drawing the attention of the Bureau's elite, the Crow Sorcerer Demon Hunting Guild. Their reputation for ruthlessness precedes them. And the famous all-female Midnight Rose Guild, idols to hunters everywhere. But Su Zhe isn't here to sightsee. He tells Yuan Yuan to wait. She watches him walk away, her ghostly eyes unblinking. He steps up to the counter, his target the B-rank emergency mission at the academy. The receptionist begins the standard questions. Name and combat level? Su Zhe, C rank. Her eyes go wide. A C rank? Sir, this is a B rank mission. We all die sometime. He cuts her off. Just sign me up. She reluctantly processes the request, warning him the area is already a ghost town. As he leaves, she shakes her head. Such a handsome man, rushing to his death. A familiar, unwelcome voice calls his name from across the lobby. A blonde man, dripping with arrogance, taunts him. Still a C rank, Su Zhe? He asks about Yuan Yuan, then laughs. Oh, her. She's dead. The world narrows to a single point. Su Zhe's voice is low, dangerous. Say that again. The blonde man's taunts turn to rage, but Su Zhe is already prepared for a fight. Bureau guards surround them, weapons drawn. The standoff is over before it begins. The blonde man's bravado evaporates. Hey, let's just talk about this. Su Zhe isn't interested in talking. You're worthless trash. Humiliated, the man clenches his fist. You just wait. He storms to the counter, his guild now joining the mission. A sinister smile spreads across his face. Su Zhe is now dead meat. But revenge would have to wait. A flash of movement, and his world goes black. Su Zhe stands over his crumpled form. Let's see some of that guts at the academy. You hear me? The terrified man can only stammer his agreement. As they walk away, he finally recognizes the attacker, Zhao Yuanyuan. But she was dead. The whispers start, the magical restraints, the vacant eyes. She's been turned into a ghoul. His fear turns to greed. A ghoul like that would be worth a fortune on the black market. He rages at the guards for not intervening, but they only handle conflicts between hunters, not their pets. From a balcony above, two women watch the scene unfold. Is that the man you're always talking about? He looks like a thug. Her leader, Qin Ziyun, says nothing, her eyes fixed on Su Zhe. She approaches the reception desk. Leader Qin, Su Zhe, why is he here? The receptionist explains he just accepted the B-rank emergency mission at Moonview Girls Academy. Qin Ziyun is stunned. You let a C-rank take that mission? The receptionist can only cite policy, helplessly noting other teams are also going. That isn't good enough. She decides to go herself. Meanwhile, Su Zhe arrives at the academy gates. An unstable barrier flickers, barely holding back the corruption within. His new crew asks if they can follow, hoping to collect whatever scraps he leaves behind. Do as you please. He has bigger things to worry about. He and Yuan Yuan step through the shimmering barrier into the heart of the disaster. The school is gone, replaced by a landscape of pulsating red flesh. He needs B-rank crystal cores, and he'll find them here. Their first encounter, a corrupted student. The tower's rank is high, the corruption deep. She stands amidst the fleshy tendrils, a twisted mockery of who she once was. Su Zhe recognizes the uniform, a student of Moonview Academy, consumed by the tower's energy. Her face contorts into a monstrous mask as she lunges, her humanity lost to a feral scream. The creature lunges, and even in the face of death, one of the men can't help but make a crude remark. But Su Zhe sees its agility. This is no mere puppet. He decides to test its true nature with a taste of his power. A cage of blue energy crystals erupts, enveloping the monster, but its form wavers, becoming insubstantial. It phases directly through his body, reappearing behind him completely unharmed. A yaksha, a creature that can walk through matter, but why possess a student? He's seen enough. Yuan Yuan, deal with it. Her restraints shatter as she unleashes a torrent of raw, crackling lightning. Just as he suspected. The phasing has a cooldown. The yaksha falls, but a new enemy appears, a horned woman with a strange proposition. She opens a small, unassuming pot, and from it emerges a monstrous, insectoid creature. She points at Su Zhe. Go, he's all yours. So this is your true form. You've gotten ugly, but I'll still give you a kiss. A swirling vortex of golden light consumed the beast. I hope this is worth something. The battlefield erupted in a blinding, fiery blast. He plucked the glowing red core from the ashes. A fine prize. With the gatekeeper slain, he turned to the one who'd been watching. She smiled. Now we can finally enter the tower. Her hand traced his cheek. And you're quite the looker, aren't you? She turned to his companion. Here, little pet, have something to eat. The girl devoured the offering. It's delicious! So she could speak again. The strange new trio ascended the stairs. Elsewhere, another group surveyed the same ominous tower. This place gives me the creeps. It's perfect, their leader sneered. We can finish off Su Zhe here, and no one will ever know. Boss, Cao Yuanyuan is strong, and if she's with Su Zhe, he can't be weak. The boss struck him. Useless! This is what happens when you waste your time chasing girls. We'll capture the girl for a handsome price. Su Zhe's been a C rank forever. He's nothing. It's time to settle an old score. They stepped through the portal. Demons swarmed them, but the horned woman was ready. Go, my little ones. A torrent of purple butterflies descended, their wings a razor-sharp storm. In seconds, only bones remained. You've become food for my insects. He hadn't lifted a finger. An easy victory. As the last of the butterflies vanished, they surveyed the carnage. Deeper inside, they discovered a cave, its ceiling covered in strange, pulsating cocoons. Get one down for me, she commanded. I can't fly, he replied flatly. Her eyes widened in shock. You can talk? My venom, it didn't work on you. He ignored her, whispering a quiet order to Yuan Yuan. Your little trick was pathetic. Worthless. She fell to her knees, her arrogance shattered. Please, you have to help me save the students. He looked down at her, his voice cold. I'm not interested in saving anyone. I'll do anything. Name your price. His expression shifted. Anything? Fine, I'll look. But if they're in those things, be prepared. No, she insisted. They're hiding somewhere else in the tower. They have to be. Just then, a cocoon tore open, birthing a red-haired horror. He turned to the horrified woman. Is that one of your students? Without waiting for an answer, he summoned a flaming tiger to strike it down. But from another cocoon, a sphere of green energy shot out to intercept. The two forces collided in a searing blast. The red-haired chimera emerged fully, untouched by the explosion. His attack was useless. Let me help you, she cried. From the shadows, a new group watched the chaos unfold. Should we intervene? No, their leader, Frank Bear, replied. Let them wear each other out. They can't beat that chimera alone. But sir, our captain isn't here. We'll let them fight. Then we'll swoop in and take the girl. Back in the cavern, they braced themselves against the fully formed monster. Suddenly, tendrils shot from the walls, ensnaring the woman. Watch out! The walls closed in, fleshy and corrosive. Hey, stop pushing! Hey, keep your hands off my secret weapon. Use your little bug to get the talisman from my pouch, she ordered. It's our only way out of this thing. The tiny creature obeyed, retrieving the folded paper charm. It's a thunderstorm talisman, she cackled. A thunderstorm talisman? From a distance, another observer watched the pulsating cocoon. That thing was too powerful to engage. Shame about the pretty girl, though, he smirked. Suddenly, a blinding flash of lightning erupted from within their fleshy prison. He burst free, scorched but alive. I'm out! Hey, let me out of here, she screamed. He just walked away. You stay put. He was immediately confronted by a familiar and far more dangerous figure. Can you absorb a monster that isn't inside my mind space? She leaned in close, her voice a seductive whisper. I can use your body to absorb its power for you. Just inject your power into this talisman. This Kinara is tricky. Your body can't handle that much power, she warned. Use the other one I gave you, he refused. When you're ready, she sighed. I'll be here. He turned his attention to the watchers on the bridge above. Hey, you guys want a piece of this? Their leader, a man in clerical robes, laughed. You really want to fight us all? He just smirked, calmly lighting a cigarette. Exhaling a cloud of smoke, he answered, Oh, I won't be the one fighting you. The cleric scoffed at his empty threat. Look at the mess you're in. Boss! Behind you! One of his men screamed. A hulking demon materialized from the shadows, grabbing one of them. Defensive formation? He gave a nod to his own ghoul. Good girl. The cleric stared in disbelief. The giant ghoul had ignored the smaller one, trapping them. Meanwhile, the woman's plan was in motion. A stealth talisman and monster-luring powder would keep the demon and any other lurkers busy. The great beast shrieked as it was consumed by a ball of golden light. Let them have their fun, he muttered as she ran off. He had his own problems to deal with. The Kinara had finally, fully emerged, a crimson, insectoid nightmare. Yuan, stay back. This was a fight for him alone. The talisman flared with borrowed power. Time to test out a new move. He drew on the talisman's power. Come forth, Black Calamity! The demoness appeared. Allow me to deal with that little pest for you, master. He unleashed a new power against the moth-like demon. Elephant form! The summoned giant brought its flaming sword down, cleaving the beast in two. He smirked, surveying the smoldering remains. Too easy. A C-level hunter took down a high-tier B-level in 2 moves? Get the captain on the line now. The captain wasn't responding. Below, the other battle raged on. Now, take me to it, Black Calamity demanded. I will absorb it. She reverted to her smaller form, clinging to his leg. Feed me! Together, they drew the demon's essence from its corpse, their power growing. The rescued girl was safe for now, thank you. But then she saw it, a student ID lying in the dust. It belonged to an 8th grade student named Ju Q. She looked from the card to the cocoons, a dawning horror on her face. The missing students. She turned to him, her eyes pleading for a different answer. Once the Kinara injects its egg sheath, he said grimly, there's no saving them. No, she cried, refusing to believe it. There has to be a way. The cavern began to tremble violently. An earthquake? What is that? He asked. Black Calamity was just as lost. I don't sense any aura fluctuations. Look out! A bloated monstrosity was tearing its way through the rock. As they stared at the new threat, a boot pressed down on his head. Well, look who's here, Black Calamity noted. The ground gave way, plunging the 2 women into a chasm. Su Zhe! A voice called down from above. Yuan, go with Hongye, protect her! He looked up from the ground into the face of a powerful, red-haired demoness. Just my luck. You can't defeat me, she purred. He slumped. We're screwed. Elsewhere, a different group of captives stared up at a pulsating organic tower. We're just cannon fodder, one wept. I only just met the guy. Their captor grinned. With your blood, we will awaken the master of this tower. Panic erupted among the prisoners. No, please, don't kill us. The villain raised his knife, pointing to an old man. You're first. The blade flashed across the old man's throat, his scream cut short by a spray of hot blood. The mohawked man began the ritual, raising a glowing lantern that pulsed with a sinister red light. The sacrifice's life force was torn from his body, feeding the dark energy that swirled around the altar. By the power of this talisman, I summoned the god of fire. A massive flame monkey erupted from the spell, catching the enemy off guard. A new voice echoed in the chaos. Su Zhe, you finally arrived. The attack was turned against him, trapping him in a vortex of flame. The blast sent his allies screaming through the air, crashing hard against the cavern wall. The antagonist loomed over them. Is this all you have? Pathetic. He struggled to his feet, the sheer power of the attack still ringing in his ears. Give me Zhao Yuan, he commanded, and I'll grant you a quick death. Despite a few setbacks, finishing you all will be easy. He unleashed a wave of ice from the stolen talisman, forcing them into a desperate retreat. The man laughed. Where do you think you're going? His smile revealed something inhuman beneath the surface. Monstrous, fleshy arms erupted from the floor, grasping for them. His friend cried out as he was caught, dragged down by the writhing limbs. Behold the power of a god, he roared, as the flesh began to consume them. "You call this a god?" Su Zhe spat back. "It's just a monster. What's the difference? I made a contract for power. All that matters is winning." He seized the man by the throat. "Where is she?" An urgent cry cut through the noise. "Su Zhe, look!" High above the battle, on a precarious ledge, it was Zhao Yuanyuan. They had found the cocoons, but they were hatching ahead of schedule. Horrific creatures clawed their way out, their screams echoing in the cavern. The horde swarmed them, a tide of claws and teeth, and from a monstrous maw, their queen emerged. A single red crystal pulsed on the cracked ground. Surging with purple energy, the woman attacked. "My mission is to protect her. You will be eliminated." But the creature was too fast, its tendrils piercing her in a brutal counterattack. "Yuanyuan!" Her companion screamed in horror. She faced the monster alone. "What are you trying to do?" Its eyes glowed with triumph, a cruel smirk spreading across its face. From its mouth, a grotesque, fleshy ovipositor extended. She understood its goal. "I won't let you inject me with your egg." The creature lunged, roaring. "Time for you to die!" But it hesitated, pulling back. "Trying to run?" A voice taunted. Her blood fueled the curse, channeling immense power through a tiny white beetle. A colossal serpent of blue energy erupted from the spell. "Go!" The ground writhed with summoned creatures. Hongye stood over her defeated foe. Revenge was hers, but the price was steep. Her victory was short-lived. The curse's backlash was more than she could bear. She held her fallen friend, her voice desperate. "Where's Zhao Yam?" She looked up, and her blood ran cold. "Master!" Before them stood the source of the corruption, a grotesque, living tower of flesh. A monstrous laugh echoed through the cavern. "Insects! What do you want with Yuanyuan?" he demanded, his voice shaking. Their boss swaggered forward, chair in hand. "And just who do you think you are?" The monster answered with a single, crushing step. They could only stare in horror as their leader was reduced to a red paste. One man broke and ran. "Running in the halls is forbidden," the monster boomed. Its tongue, a razor-sharp spear, enforced the rule. "Don't run!" one of the remaining men shouted. "We can't outrun it!" He held up a talisman, their last hope. "We have to gamble everything." Fiery soldiers erupted from the charm, charging the beast. A new voice joined them. "Let's stall it until he gets here." The attack connected in a massive explosion, seemingly vaporizing the monster. They stared in disbelief. Was that just for show? The smoke cleared, revealing the monster, enraged. "Bad students must be punished." There was nowhere left to run. This was the end, but a new figure appeared, blocking the monster's massive hand. It was Captain Qin Ziyun. Lin, she commanded. "Capture them." Bandages shot out from the cat-eared girl, restraining the men and their shadowy ghoul. "Don't worry," Lin chirped. "These will heal you." The captain was worried you couldn't handle the entity that formed this tower, she explained. He was stunned by the danger, but even more thrilled by the captain's concern. "Idiot," Lin snapped. "This is Mahoraga," she continued, "an A-rank monster born from the school staff's negative emotions. An A-rank born from teachers' grudges?" It was insane. The monster, the school's former principal, fixed its gaze on the captain. "You're late, Ziyun. Time for your punishment. You dare call yourself a teacher?" Ziyun spat. "Don't you dare disgrace the title." Enraged, the principal monster brought its massive fist down to crush her. She dodged effortlessly. Taiji 3 forms. A wave of pure force erupted from her hands, tearing through the horde of shadow monsters. Consumed by fire, the lesser demons shrieked as they were annihilated. From the sidelines, a new player emerged. "So this is the power of an A- rank. Impressive." But a voice cut through the awe. "Wait, where's the third expert?" He turned to the horned woman, demanding an answer. She just smirked, directing their gaze skyward. "Look up." The monster roared, its power growing as their own began to fade. Terror gripped the robed men. "Captain, should we retreat?" It unleashed a devastating beam of pure energy, but from the blast, a figure emerged. "The captain is here! We're saved!" Captain Jessie looked upon her subordinates with disdain. A bunch of useless cowards. She hefted her massive scythe, a grim reaper in a nun's habit, She charged forward, determined to claim the sacred artifact before the beast could. Elsewhere, another battle raged with equal fury. A vicious kick sent a monster reeling. "Come on, is that all you've got?" She drove her fist into its glowing eye. "I'll eliminate every last one of you." Caught in the crossfire, Linlin cried out for her captain. "Sister Ziyun!" "Are you okay?" Linlin asked, rushing to her side. "I'm fine," Ziyun replied. "But that mark on your arm," Ziyun waved it off. "Just a minor injury from its technique." From the sidelines, the observers were confused. Why is Captain Qin only dodging? One of them watched her movements closely. "She has a weakness." His companion was shocked. "A weakness? But she's an A- level expert." If they were both A level, why weren't they working together? Linlin was a support hunter, a healer, not a frontline fighter. The battlefield erupted in another explosion. "We're lost," her scythe sang through the air. "Let the souls of the dead be trapped within my sword." The winged beast was far stronger than she'd anticipated. "Captain Qin," the nun proposed. "Let's take this thing down together." Ziyun was taken aback. "How do you know who I am?" Everyone knows the super genius who rose from a commoner to A level. An uneasy alliance formed, 3 hunters against one monstrous principal. The monster struggled against its bonds. "Discipline must be reinforced. Teachers," it roared, "deal with these disobedient students." Shadowy figures coalesced from the darkness. Are those the ghosts of teachers? "Don't let them touch you," the nun warned. "Their malice will cloud your judgment." 3 A levels are struggling? One captive asked. The other sighed. "Rank isn't everything." His bandages loosened. He looked down at the overwhelming battle, feeling utterly useless. "You're too weak to help them directly," a familiar voice whispered. "But there is another way." She pointed to the corpses of the Kanara. "Absorb their power. It will be enough to awaken a powerful subject." He knew instantly what she meant. The monster sealed on the 2nd level of his mind. "I cannot help you here," she confirmed with a smirk. "But Thought can."